Hey everyone, welcome to Love Your Body podcast. I am so excited for today's episode because so many things have been happening. Last week we talked about my road to owning a home and just all the progress from this past year, how getting that was like a huge goal. And I was so lucky enough to work with my half brother who owns his own realtor business and everything like that. And so a lot of you asked questions about that. So thank you so much for that. But yeah, today I woke up and I was like, it's gonna be a good day. I'm here in the borough and I get up and I go to my body assessment to do my check-in. And, I for a moment there with everything getting ready for my competition I was, I'm always goal oriented, but like for a moment there, I was starting to get, kind of hung up on the weight and kind of like, oh man, like, am I on track? Am I not on track? Kind of getting like a little flustered about that. And I was like, you know what? We're going to let go of the number. We're not going to think about it. We're just going to like roll out. Right. And this morning, I went to my body assessment, which if you have ever done it in body, you know, that you just like stand on it. It takes like 2 minutes. It reads your whole body for you and that's what I have my new clients do because I can't look at you and say, oh, yeah, you should be eating this much food when I have no idea what's going on the inside of your body or how much muscle mass you have or how much body fat you have. So it's great to have those tools around you where you can go to a shop or go to someone's gym or whatever to find that out. Most of the time they're free. So which is a good, so I always use it as a good tool, especially if you're starting out in your healthy lifestyle journey. But basically went in there and, it was just by myself and, yeah, got on it and, I saw the weight number and I was like, cool. Yeah, I figured that. And then I saw, my body fat and I have never, I mean, since I can't even, I don't know, maybe when I was like 15 years old, 14 years old, before I put on my initial weight and started having, weight troubles when I was younger. And I've never been under 20% body fat. And I have been manifesting that I wanted to be under 20% body fat. And, just because like what a cool goal. And before it was the first goal was to be under 25 and like to be under, because I had been under 25 before, a couple years back, or a few years more than that, years back. And yeah, I think like my leanest was strongman. I was at like 24%. So I was like, it'd be a really cool goal to like, let's surpass that. Let's just see, can my body even get to that point? Right. Literally, I get on there, and it's like, reading through, it's reading through. I'm like, "Oh, shoot, okay," and it goes and it shows that it says 19.5% body fat, and I was like, "Oh my gosh." And so it was such a cool, like, moment, you know what I mean? Like, it was just so awesome, and it wasn't like a, "Oh my gosh, I'm just, like, so SKI and NY now," you know what I mean? Like, it's not about that, like, it is the fact that I, had been doing my, extensive, like, fasted cardio in the mornings, like, to get ready for the show, been doing my 2-a-day workouts now, like, been eating all my food that I'm supposed to have, you know what I mean? Like, to prep for this, and after, I came up on my 1-year anniversary of doing, with working with this coach and everything like that, not 1 year of knowing I was gonna do a show, but, like, 1 year of just, like, meal prepping and watching what I'm having and things like that, being more mindful. And it's been a process. Like, I have literally, like, tapered this entire past year. Like, I've gone from, like, drinking to, like, then not drinking. And then it was like, okay, not having a huge, like, meal cheat day, you know what I mean? Or free day where I just eat whatever, right? Mindlessly. And then to where it was like a free meal. And then, like, to now where it's, like, more structured. And, like, so it's like everything has been chipping away, chipping away, chipping away, chipping away, even my health of my leg, like, it continually is getting better and moving in a positive way. And so it just was like all of that flooded in. And it was one of those moments where I like cried a little bit and I was just like, okay, time to get to work. And so I showed back up to Olympus and worked out. I did my cardio or whatever, and I hit 300 floors on the stairs. So a lot of you have asked me about that. Took me an hour to do that. And so I did my 300 floors on the stairs, and then which is like 40. It's like 4,500 steps, by the way, because I saw that today and actually, like, looked at it, I was like, "Wow." I did not realize that, and so, anyway, so I do that, feeling very accomplished, and then afterwards, guys, I do my workout with my trainer, and what I say was the best workout ever? No, but it was a workout, and I showed up for it, and I had someone thankfully there to help me and guide me, because I don't think that I would've really gave it my all if I didn't have someone there. That's why having a trainer, having a coach is so important because when you get to that point, I mean, when you're mentally like, because I could have easily been like, dude, I'm my lowest body fat I've ever been. Yes, let's go get some breakfast. Let's get some pancakes. Let's go have some fun. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I deserve this. I earned this. I worked for this, right? Don't tell me you've never had that moment. So it's just kind of like, it's then looking at it being like, okay, awesome. Check it off the list. Take a fun, cute picture. You know what I mean? I'm gonna post later or whatever. And then like, and then move on. Like you keep getting back to like what you've been doing. Like you don't just leave it at that. And that is where I want to talk about that today of, you know, I think that there's so much fear around losing weight, fear around gaining muscle, fear around your healthy lifestyle journey and all these things where it really does not have to be a fear process or journey. And I know you're like, oh yeah, obviously, Danny, but like it happens and whatever. It's like, yeah, but like what happens is you have something in your mind of like, I want to get to A and you get to A, and then you think that life is gonna be so much better, or your workouts are gonna be less hard, or you're not gonna have to really focus on your food, or all these things, right? Because you deserve it. And the thing is I'm not saying you don't, because I'm sure you worked hard and you fought for those things and you loved your body throughout and all, and you did everything right and whatever. But guys, I know it's hard to hear, but this is a journey that's gonna be your entire journey. Like, this is your lifestyle. This is a healthy lifestyle journey, and I've always said that with Dandy Fitness, that, like, you will forever be doing this because if you forever wanna be healthy and forever wanna be capable and wanna be, 75 years old and still be able to walk with your grandkids or to be, going on trips with your partner when you're in your mid 50s and, they're active trips. They're not just like drinking and eating buffets on a cruise, I mean, and to each his own. But you could maybe go to the Grand Canyon or go zip lining or go do things and not be restricted by your weight or your injuries or things like that. So anyway, all that to say, it was such a cool moment, and, with this whole process, I have, there's on Instagram, these anonymous messages, right? And my thing is like, I want y'all to know you can DM me at any time. You can text me. My number is pretty much you can find it wherever. You can email me at Danny at dandyfitness.com. Whatever you got to do to get the message to me, right? No matter if it's you don't agree with what I'm doing or you agree or you love it, you hate it, whatever. I'm not a person that can't have a conversation with somebody that isn't like me. You know what I mean? And I want to say that again. I am not a person that you can't like that you can't talk to about things that you view differently than me. You know what I mean? I actually encourage that. I love to hear from other points of view, and I hear that daily from people, like things that I don't necessarily agree with or I align with, but I hear their take on it, and it makes me a better person because it gives me another point of view, and it opens my eyes to certain things, or it even just opens my eyes to what the other person is going through and where they're coming from. You know what I mean? So I encourage that. And so with those anonymous messages, I know some people it actually really helped. And people then came forward afterwards, like, hey, it was me that asked that question. Like, thank you so much. And we went through it and we talked, and that was awesome. And I've gotten a lot of people here lately that are like, I'm actually going to do a show now. I'm going to do a show now because of you. Or they say, I'm gonna do, I didn't want to get my movement in, but because I saw you get your movement in, I did, and that is so special and so cool. So all these positive things, and then there was like a couple negative things that had happened, and it was like, it was just rude comments, right? And for me, it's one of those things where it didn't really affect like, I did not make me wanna go and, like, have a whole pizza by myself and, like, completely just fall off the wagon. You know what I'm saying? But again, I'm 10 years into my healthy lifestyle journey, successful business, doing well, getting ready for a bodybuilding show. You know what I mean? That like, overcoming so many different things that I'm at the point where, like, that wouldn't affect me. What bothers me is that would have affected and completely torn down someone else that is, more recent into their journey, or maybe has lost a ton of weight and still doesn't think they're going to be ready for a show, but really wants to do a show, but everyone's telling them that they shouldn't because they're not going to look quote unquote perfect on stage or the look on stage. And for me, I understand it as a sport. I get it. But that is why there's divisions called true novice, like the first time you step on stage. And there are different divisions. I'm not out here coming out being like, yeah, I'm in the open and I'm like running this and like da 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 da. Da." Like I'm just coming out, showing out, gonna be my best that day of, and have worked literally my ass off, you know what I mean, for this. And so it's one of those where, yes, you can say how you think I'll do or why I'm doing or whatever. But, again, come from my own standpoint of like, let's have a conversation about it. And I can explain to you, you know, um, my journey, my mission, everything that's going to go into this show from me handing out the Overcomer Award with Whitney Weiser to me being able to, you know, get to see my 5-year Dani D Fitness story played on there as a commercial. My logo will be all over everything there. If you're there, guys, like come up to the booth, like come see my people that are working the booth. Come see them, talk to them about try fight, my energy booster, like buy a shirt, love your body shirt, fight for what you want shirt, whatever helps motivate you, grab a band, like whatever you want to do. But you know, you could tag me. I mean, I don't know, reach out to me, we'll take a picture, whatever. Like I'm all for it. It's the Municipal Auditorium. It's August 20th. I'm super pumped out about it, about it. And, it's something again, guys, that it's breaking the stereotype. And it is overcoming so much. And the biggest thing that I want you to know is that you can do this too. I think that some people think that, well, Dani, you're just like so motivated all the time, whatever. It's like it has nothing to do about motivation, but more consistency, right? Because in my mind, it's like someone said something about, are you still gonna like work with your coach after the show? It's like, well, of course. Like I've been working with them for a year and that was 6 months of that. I did not think I was gonna do a show. So like I found something that works, so, like, I'm gonna keep going with it, and for me, I've always been on a meal plan. If you follow any of my posts on Instagram, you know this, like, I've talked about this many times, like, I've always been on a diet, I've always been on something because when you have a body like mine and you have a metabolism that was kinda shot from a young age, it is one of those things where you're continually trying to raise it up, and you can't continually raise your metabolism up without strength training, and good fuel, like eating more small meals throughout each day or throughout the day. And so that's why I just kinda say this, like, I will always be on a plan. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with always having a trainer. I don't think there's a point where, I'd be like, "Ugh, I'm so proficient in movement that I don't want a trainer." For me, I know that I can do my own workouts and that I can lead myself and do that. I just don't want to. Because at the end of the day, after I've already spent 5 days in a gym or whatever, if I want to go outside and work out with Matt, and just have some like badass workouts. Like I want to go do that. And that's my right. And that's my life. And that's how I want to live. So you have to decide kind of like what your jam is with everything, and how you're creating this healthy lifestyle for yourself. And it's gonna look different. Every season looks different. My season of dancing when I was young looks different than my season of strongman, looks different than when I didn't have any personal trainer or anybody and I was running my business. It looks different than, now it's gonna look different from this bodybuilding show and stuff. Like so you have to roll with it. You have to learn to adapt and everything like that. But if you're going through this journey and you live in fear of the comments, fear of the nonsense, fear of people and what they're gonna say, and like or whatever, it all comes down to who cares? You know what I mean? Like, if you truly don't feel like you could go up there and like have fun, then don't go up there and don't go up there. Just don't. But if you're letting other people decide your life for you, which I did for a long time, if you let others decide your value and your worth and what you should fight for, then really you're not fighting for anything except for their validation. So I've talked about it many times, but I think we all need to hear it in this love your body season, the summer season. People are still going out in bathing suits. They're still going out, trying to do things, live life, have fun, whatever. But I will tell you, this has been the best summer that I've ever had. I'm not drinking. I had no weird nights, that like whatever. I didn't. I spent the week, like, or a few days in California and got to be with my mentor doing movement and just being out there in the sun and riding bikes and just doing something different, you know? And I have just continually set these goals for myself of like, I wanna challenge myself during this prep of not just like, I'm gonna hide out in my apartment and not do anything, you know? And so it's like, and when I went to Chattanooga for my Move Fit event, like, that's something different. Like, when I went to Fit Farm, like, that was something different. Like, and continually putting myself to test myself because when you get to a certain point, when you're like, "Oh, I'm just like I'm so used to getting my workouts in, I'm so used to, like, loving myself," whatever, you wanna continually keep challenging yourself, and whether that's, like, shooting for a promotion in your job, or that's like, with your partner, like trying to like, do maybe couples therapy or like, progress in that and, or go on more trips alone without the kids, like whatever it might be. Like, I think we should always be going after something and setting those goals. So for me right now, the goal is to keep a mental and health like a healthy mental state and healthy physical state above everything else, for the show and keep things in perspective. Yes, I've had a transformation, and yes, like my body is shaping out and things like that. And that's great to celebrate. But as many of you know, when we lose weight or you put on weight or whatever, people's comments can kinda get to you and things of that nature and stuff. So I hope that you can either watch my stories or listen to the podcast or know that when you're feeling low because somebody said something silly and irrelevant, that it does not discredit the sweat, the hard work, the things that you've been doing, and you don't have to show them, you don't have to prove to them, you don't have to do any of that, but just be and just live in that and just love that and just embrace that. And I will say I'm gonna end this podcast today on a very positive note. A friend of mine said something to me today, and he was like, I don't know what he said. He said, I had like heard about like, Danny D fitness and like kind of like that. But he's like, but people who I've talked to that know Danny really have just, been saying, just all these different things, all these amazing things, and you've really helped a lot of people. And that would to me, like, even though the body fat, that was great. And I am really excited about that, whatever aesthetically. But to hear that he was like, and that made me go to your page, actually like really look at you and like see like kind of who you are and to see that realness and stuff like that. Like that really meant a lot. As I'm getting to know you and things like that. And then that was really cool. And I was like, that's awesome. And so I hope that if you ever do, like I said, need to talk, message me, feel open enough to, you know, to just reach out and let's have a conversation and let's, tackle it one day at a time because it is one day at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself with all these, external just crazy things and things that you can't control. And focus on what is something that you can control and what is something that is a goal of yours that you want to, go into finishing out this Love Your Body season as we get into the Fight for What You Want season. And let's kind of roll with that and let's see where we're at from there. And I'm really excited, guys. And I'll keep telling you about the show. I'll keep putting on my story and everything, but you can watch it. I know we have people who listen all over in different countries and everything like that. So you can see that there'll be a live stream as well, that I think you can pay to watch and everything like that. So make sure you check that out in my bio. And then if you are going to be here and you're coming to the show, I can't wait to see you guys. It's going to be epic and keep fighting for what you want. Until next time.